When thinking about muscle cars, you know that they go very quick in a straight line, but if you put them around a corner, you quickly start to see the car's shortcoming. It's generally accepted that muscle cars look more serious than they perform. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's an American manufacturer that makes, by all definitions, a true sports car, starting at just $27,000.
Addicted to sadness, addicted to pain. Keep making the choices that bring you shame. Tripped up by the enemy inside your brain. Gotta stop, drop, and roll when you feel insane.
Okay, so this is going to be my car review of my 2016 Camaro 2LT RS. Long name, I know. So, quick overview about the car. I got it about 4 months ago, and I have 18,000 miles on it. So, about time I put up a review. Impressions of this car. So, I didn't expect it to be so much of a luxury car. It has, we'll go through all the features later, but it's just smack dab in the middle of a sports car and a luxury car. And that's just really weird coming from a Camaro, which is supposed to be a muscle car. It's just really, really, really comfortable for how much I drive. And it's just insane amount of the levels of grip on this is just mind-blowing. Just how fast you can take it around corners. It'll just stick. Even with the all seasons that it came with, I believe they're just Goodyears. And it's just a bunch of fun, really. I mean, it's surprisingly light. So 3,300 pounds, around that, maybe a little over. So the lightest model they make. And it's just been amazing so far. Alright, so we're strolling back home here. And obviously these aren't first impressions of the car because I almost have 18,000 miles on it. But a little bit about this car. You notice right when you get in it just how stable it is. So if you don't have the model with the heads-up display on it, or you're not very aware of your speedometer, you're used to cars like feeling fast when they're going fast, this isn't one of those. So you got to be careful with that because you can easily get up to some high speeds and not even notice. It's not as loud from in here too. It's fairly refined. Living with this car, it's more of a luxury car than people think. These seats are some of the comfiest seats I've ever sat in, and with the heated and cooled, it just makes getting in the morning that much better with the heated steering. I mean, this car gets warm in a second. So, also, another thing that they don't really touch on in reviews is the modes. I'm surprised no one mentions that. It's night and day with these modes. It only does one function. Between touring and sport, touring will have a looser spring rate. It'll have a slower spring rate, so more of the going over bumps. And when you do sport, it really tightens that up. The spring rate gets a lot faster. It's almost like you do like a coilover swap in just the push of a button, so that's really nice. And it really does help a lot. So something to talk about is the engine. This is a really interesting engine. The power doesn't come on until 3,000 RPM, and usually when people say that, they say, oh, the max power doesn't come on. I'm talking about the power. This car, it feels like a putter car under 3,000 RPM. It really does feel like a 2.0 four-cylinder car, kind of like that of a WRX. It just has that old school turbo leg where you are driving a four-cylinder, and then as soon as you put your foot down and it's over 3,000 RPM, then it launches. And it's just something you got to get used to. Would I like torque down low? Yeah, it would be nice. I'll probably end up tuning this, and it might have a little more punch down low, but it does save gas pretty good. I mean, I usually get anywhere from 25 to 28 miles per gallon in 275 horsepower, 300 torque. It's pretty good for what you get. Oh, people like to compare this to the V6. I don't know why the V6 is considered the mid-grade and this is the base model. I would take this engine over the V6 any day and night. You get 20 more pound-feet of torque at 3,000 RPM. So not only do you get more torque, but you get it at a 2,000 RPM lower. So you can, on the freeway, this car feels much faster. Of course, it's not the SS, but it's gonna feel punchier. You don't have to be wringing this engine out all the time just to get power out of it. The V6 is cool. It does sound a little better, but I mean, why not just get the lighter weight engine? I mean, this car with the muffler off, it's very near 3,300 pounds, so most nimble by far. I mean, you just throw it into corners and it's really like no limits, honestly. You can't safely approach this car's limits on the street, which is, it's very humbling. You have to give the car respect. You have to respect its limits because, like other cars, I mean, you could really run that car to the ground, and like the TC I had, you could really push it and see like, oh, I wonder if it can do this today. But this car, you would have to be driving unsafe for that to happen. All right, let's turn onto this back road here and see how it does. That'll put a smile on your face. Alright, so on the exterior, first thing about this RS package is the 20-inch wheels, which I would have liked black, but it looks good nonetheless. There is my rainbow caps of peace, like those. And then we got the auto keyless entry. You could just, if you have the key in your pocket, you just go ahead and tap the button and you're good to go. There we got the blind spot monitoring. That is a lifesaver. If you've ever sat in a Camaro, you know the visibility is a joke. Except out the front, it's fine. Then I blacked out my the parking brake area. Alright, so there's the trunk. Pretty roomy. I was surprised. I wish it was a bigger opening. It's kind of small, but you can fit quite a bit in there. The seats fold down as well. Alright, and here's the 8-inch? Yeah, 8-inch touchscreen. There's all my colors, my good old color strip. Now these things are pretty cool, honestly. It's probably the tackiest thing about the car, but it's really not tacky. I like it a lot. Especially at night. I'll throw a clip in at night after. But I believe you have 26 colors to choose from. Some are better than others, but makes the car, you could kind of personalize it there. It's pretty nice. And the touchscreen is pretty responsive. I like it. And then here we have the vents. I really like that you can change the temperature just by the outer rim of the vents. It feels fancy. Then we got the cooled seats, which are fantastic. Alright, what else we got here? Oh, that's right. The armrest is an interesting design. You don't really have to reach back there to open it, but still a normal amount of space. You got good old cup holders here, change holders, and there's some more of the lights in there. And auto windows, there's the mirror adjusts, and then we have the memory seats. Now those are fantastic for if anyone messes with your seats. You got two settings there for two different drivers. And here we go. This is one of my favorite things is the heads-up display. It's pretty hard to see in there though. Alright, so here's the area of the gauges, and you could just personalize it. You could have pretty much any information you want up there. There's just so much to choose from. There's all your fluid temps. You got information, you got performance, you have audio, phone, navigation, and settings for all of those. There you go. If you missed how to close the vents, there you go. And those are the famous comfy seats. There you go. That's what the interior looks like, just from that perspective. And oh, there's another fantastic feature, Bose. I was used to, my 12-inch JL sub, but I mean, the Bose, it has clearer highs, so I'm not complaining. It sounds excellent. And there's an electronic parking brake. Those are, it saves room. It makes everything look a lot neater. There you go. There's the Bose again. I was hoping it would pick up the audio for the parking brake. It sounds very, I don't even know, fighter jet when you open the parking brake. And there's the rear view camera. It works pretty good. It's I mean, it looks like 60 frames per second to me. That thing's also a lifesaver because you can't really see out the back too well. All the safety features they have really compensate the visibility in this car that people used to complain about. There's another cool feature. The mirror points down at the sidewalk or wherever you're at when you put it in reverse. And there is what the lights look like at night. And that's pretty much it for the interior and exterior. And one of the most impressive things about this car is the shifter and the clutch. The clutch is a little long, the throw, but you get used to it. It's real easy to start this car, very hard to stall. And the shifts are just so precise and notchy. You always know what gear you're in. It's a fantastic gearbox. And this is my first manual car, and it's just been great learning on this gearbox. So, yep, finally able to heel toe, just downshift whenever. That took a while. But yeah, so great shifter. So this is 275 horsepower at 5,000 RPM, 300 pound-feet of torque at 3,000 RPM. That's the important one right there. And that's out of a 2.0 four-cylinder turbocharged engine. And 0 to 60, 5.3 seconds. Quarter mile time, 14 flat. And I believe that's all the tested specs about it. Of course, it's hard to get to those with the manual. I think my best is like 6 seconds, 0 to 60, but realistically it pulls harder. It's going to be 100 pounds lighter than the automatic, so it's fun. Manual's just fun. I think that's about it. If you guys have any more questions about the car, if I didn't go over everything, just let me know in the comments and I could easily answer it. I think I've pretty much explored everything about this car by now. I would hope I have. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.